Hi everyone. Okay, what I need to do with those bare roots in my cutting field is I need to add some compost. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get a bucket. Okay, so I'm going to fill it up. And what I'm going to do is each time I dig a hole out there is I'm going to add the compost, and it'll also help keep the hole fed and also keep the hole broke up where the roots can grow. Hi everyone, it's Gina with Peonies of America, and I am just headed out to the peony, my cutting field. I'm going to be putting in 25 more of the Mother's Choice bare roots today, and it is December 11th here in southern Oklahoma. I'm in grow zone 7B, and my ground is not frozen. So I can continue to put peony bare roots in as far up to even in January, as long as the ground is not frozen. So that's what I'm gonna head out to do that, and I was gonna show you how I put them in the field. In here I've got some tools, scissors to cut the landscape fabric, and this is what I use my fork there to use to dig out some of the dirt in the hole if I need to, and just some other tools. And I also have my granddaughter's tools in here, I see. So anyway, she helps me sometimes. In this mixture I have potassium, which is the grit, and that will help keep the ground broke up underneath. I do have sandy loam, and my ground is pretty easy, but by putting this potassium in there, it also will loosen up the ground for these bare roots to continue to grow. I also have some bone meal, which I always use for phosphorus, and that helps them bloom in the spring. And then I've got some AZOMITE, and the AZOMITE re-energizes the roots to these bare roots, and will recharge them a bit and help them really start rooting up even during the cold months. We are going to drop down to 24 degrees here on Sunday night, but they'll be fine. And I was just going to share that information with you if you're worried about that you haven't gotten your bare roots in, or how late you can plant these. And I also use this shovel. This is a wonderful little shovel. It's kind of a half-size shovel, but this goes perfectly down into the hole where I cut my landscape fabric at. So anyway, I'll be taking that out with me as well. So let's get started. Okay, so my hole is dug. It's about 12 inches deep, and the first thing I do is I add my potassium, my phosphorus, a little bit of bone meal, and just a little bit of AZOMITE, but I mix it all together in the bucket. And the grit is the potassium. It's potassium grit is what I use by Microlife. And what it does is it helps keep the ground, it'll help it break up down there. And it'll help it so the roots can grow. And then after I've done that, I like to add a handful of compost in the hole. And then I'm going to kind of backfill it a little bit with my dirt. So then there's a layering. Once those roots hit down way down there, they're going to get a little surprise and a little treat. So, and again, a little bit of that. And I'm just shaking it in. I'm just going to reach in here and just grab a root. This one here is kind of small. It's a 3-4 root is all. But if I was to put that down there, it is really buried down in there, and of course I have a gap under here that I would have to fill. So I kind of put my bare root in there to make sure it's going to fit, which it will easily. And the next thing I want to do is I'm going to put some of the natural dirt back in the hole. And of course my eyes, I don't go down 2 inches, even an inch. I just leave them about a ½ inch from the ground. And as I'm backfilling, I'm just going to add a little bit of compost, because the compost feeds. It will feed for me. And then I'm going to add a little bit more sprinkle of my phosphorus and my amendments. And these have a really nice root started. So I'm going to set those there. And the highest eye is just right about the surface. And there is a little bit of gap under here. So I'm gonna add just like that. I'm gonna make a mound, kinda. Because I don't want any air pockets, and I'm gonna set that root right on there. And you can still see some air there. But as I backfill, I'm gonna make sure that this root, all the air pockets are covered. So I'm gonna make sure that dirt is fine going into those areas there. Kind of push it down a little bit. And the eye is still just right about level, ground level. And that's where I want it. So I'm gonna add a little bit of compost for some food, and then I'm gonna start backfilling it. And I like to break up any clods, any real big clods anyway. And there's the eye. There's the eye. I'm gonna firm it down. And then once I add a little bit more dirt, that is all I want that eye covered up. And then I'm gonna give it a little bit of compost. And that's it. And that was a little root, but the hole, you see how deep the hole was dug? And then I had to backfill, but I layered it. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna allow those roots to grow and expand quickly.